So you have to excuse my voice, I lose it every year. My name is Mickey Krimmel. I'm the founder and CEO of NeighborGoods. I've been doing online community development for almost a decade now. So I've built communities for startups, media companies, nonprofits. I started my career at Participant Productions, which is Jeff Skoll from eBay's film company in LA. So while I was there, I actually ran the social media campaign for the Al Gore movie, An Inconvenient Truth. That was bad. Okay, I know where it's going. Anyway, so how many of you in this room own a power drill? Raise your hand. That's pretty much all of you. It might surprise you that the average power drill gets used for approximately 12 minutes in its entire lifetime. That's 12 minutes before it ends up in a landfill. So my question to you is, do you really need the power drill, or do you need the hole in the wall? NeighborGoods provides you with the hole in the wall. NeighborGoods connects neighbors to share physical goods in a safe and fun environment. So our members, by sharing things they already own, power drills, ladders, bicycles, increasingly video games and books, are actually saving money, living more sustainably, and strengthening their communities. So, when you need something and you look on NeighborGoods and you see that your neighbor has it, it actually gives you an excuse to make that introduction. It gives you an excuse to meet your neighbor. Part of what we're trying to accomplish here is to sort of reinvigorate the old-style neighborhood where everybody knew each other, where parents felt safe letting their kids play outside. So we just launched our new groups feature, which enable members to share privately. It also has message boards so people can post messages on the wall and have conversations with their neighbors. And the moderators can send messages and emails to all the members. We have 3 main ways of making money. The first is an optional verification process, where for $4.99 we verify your account, and this gives you access to more items on the network. We've also heard from our members a strong desire to be able to share certain higher value items privately. So now you can create private sharing groups for between $6 and $10 a month. We're also working with companies, organizations of all sizes to create enterprise sharing groups. Enterprise groups, of course, get different features. They get additional statistics, customization, and all the members of those groups get free verification. So for the Enterprise Edition, we're targeting companies, religious communities, universities. So far, the most interesting conversations we've had have been with cities who've come to us. So cities are approaching us because they see NeighborGoods as a way to reconnect local communities. And there's a lot of research that shows that when neighbors know each other, you actually have a safer community. So if you do a cost-benefit analysis, it's a hell of a lot cheaper to partner with us for 25, 50, even 100 grand a year to create a sharing group for the whole city than it is to hire and train additional police officers. So we're launching our first city this month. It's the pilot with the city of San Jose. The city's paying us to create sharing groups for their neighborhoods. We're starting in District 1. The goal is after 6 months to increase that to the entire city, which has a population of 1 million. We're also talking to 2 other cities and brands who are lined up and ready to go. So we're talking to brands about sponsoring cities that don't have the budget that San Jose has. There's one brand in particular that's interested in sponsoring a city in Ohio. It's not confirmed yet, but we're almost there. So, no, go back to that one, please. You can actually see here this where it says part of San Jose's Strong Neighborhoods program. You can see pretty easily where that can be replaced with the brand logo, right? So the idea is a brand or a local business can sponsor the sharing groups of their communities, sort of like the Adopt a Highway program. So our team is focused definitely on community. We have really deep community experience. I explained to you what I've done already. My focus has been community development from both a product and a marketing perspective. Ben Brown is our lead developer. He's sitting here taking photos. He's been building social websites for longer than most of us have been in the business. If you Google him, you'll see that he's the internet rock star on Wikipedia. So he's been around for a while. And also our community manager is running the slides. That's Jessica. And she is in the graduate program at USC Annenberg in their online communities department. We have one more developer in LA too. But you can see, we have a lot of experience in the community space, which is why we're able to make these groups valuable enough for organizations to pay for it. It's also the hardest thing for competitors to replicate. So what we're looking for is investment to build out our team in LA. We know we need some biz dev, we need more biz dev experience on our team. I want to really figure out how to build a replicatable, scalable sales process. We already have a pilot in cities. We want to do universities, corporations, churches, apartment buildings, and we need some help to sort of figure out how to make those groups kick ass and then repeat that over and over again to build a profitable business. And I'm done just on time.
Thank you very much. Mark, tell me what you think.
Listen, this is a big area, a problem that needs to be solved. I think it probably resonates with most people in this room, I'm guessing, which is you go on, I mean, I started in jest, but you go on Craigslist either to find something or to sell something, and there's no trust there. As a seller, you know you get a lot of scams that come into you. As a buyer, wanting to get something that's in a local neighborhood with someone you kind of trust really matters. And I think the same is true of eBay. The sense of community is gone. Secondly, we've seen the success of community programs, whether it's Airbnb, whether it's something like ThreadUp, which is focused on a very specific use case of sharing children's clothing, whether it's even Uber, which is not about consumer to consumer, but it's using local resources to help people book services. I think it's a great problem. The challenge will be this chicken and egg problem of building up enough density of people in any region and awareness of what you do to be able to have enough volume to have people trading.
That's exactly what the groups and the enterprise model is meant to address. So we actually launched nationally last summer. It wasn't our plan. Obviously, the way to go would be city by city, build critical mass and repeat it. But we had the opportunity to get a great deal of PR, and I was hearing from mainstream press publications that they wanted to write about us, but we were only in LA. So we went ahead and launched, and I'm glad we did, because I imagine some of you in the room have heard of us. I mean, it definitely has gotten our name out there and has established us, at least, we're listed in every collaborative consumption article. Everyone that talks about the space, we're listed. So I'm definitely glad we did that. But now our goal, instead of trying to reach out to one person, two people at a time, is to reach out to groups and organizations and get 300, 1,000, multiple thousands of people to sign up at a time. And when they do that, they're signing up as a member of a trusted group. They're signing up as a member of their corporation, as a member of their church, as a member of this group that already has trust bonds built in. And then when they sign up, we also ask them, which neighborhood do you belong to? So now we're populating the neighborhoods through that.
Sorry, I just want to cut you off because I want to save time to make sure everyone has a chance to ask you questions. Panel?
Are there any metrics you can share?
I'm sorry?
Can you share any metrics in terms of number of users,
Yeah, I
number
feel a little
of
uncomfortable
shared?
in such a public setting, sharing specific metrics, but I can say we have many thousands of users sharing thousands of items. They're worth $3 million now. We have facilitated 2,000 transactions, and 95% of those transactions have a top rating. We have a 3-star rating, and 95% of them. So people are using it. They're happy. We're hearing from them all the time. I mean, we're small enough now that we're still doing really high-touch community development. So we're working really directly with our active users to keep them happy. And so far, it seems to be working.
Can you talk a little bit more about how you limit community? I'm not sure I really understood that, because obviously the larger stuff gets, the more you can solve, but then you're back to Craigslist where no one trusts anyone.
The question is how do we limit community? Yeah. So when you sign up, you can be a member of as many groups as you want, and this is why at the enterprise model, one of the additional features you have is the ability to moderate multiple groups, right? Like the city of San Jose can't be one group because there's no trust in that, right? We still have to experiment, like what is the right cutoff? Is it 250? Like what's the right number to sort of cap a group at to see where it's most active? But the way it works now is it's sort of self-limiting. So the organization can create groups for this floor and that floor, but you can be members of different groups. So when you search for an item, you're not limited by your group at all. You search 1 mile, 5 miles, however far you're willing to travel. So the groups are more of, when you sign up, you can see this is the activity that's happening here, and you just feel a sense of connectedness. But when you search for an item, you can search within a group or you can search all around you.
I really like the concept, but I see two problems I think you might need to solve. One of which is just human behavior being very lazy. How do you get the consumer and the community to upload all the things they're willing to share? That's one. The second part is I'm much more likely to share my car with my next door neighbor than 10 blocks down the road or even like at the edge of the city. But I'm willing to share my car. But how do you sort of sort of rate that trust among all the products that I may be willing to share?
So I'll answer the second part first. So for each item you add, you can decide, there you have different access levels, right? So the default is my friends, verified neighbors, and members of my groups have access to this item, but you can also add things for just your friends. That's how I have my car on the site, just my friends can ask me to borrow it, but you can also limit things to particular groups. So you could create a group for just your neighborhood or just your block, and then you can limit your car to just that group. I'm sorry, what was the first question?
First question is just overcoming general human behavior,
Oh,
being
right,
lazy.
and adding things more easily. That's actually been the easiest part. We thought that would be the hurdle also, but people actually really want to get more use out of their items. We've built adding items into the sign-up process, so it's really easy to add simple, like with one click you can add your lawnmower, your power drill, your vacuum cleaner, items that we think people will add pretty easily. So we do that to get them started with the simple stuff, and then we introduce them to the wish list so they can see what everyone near them is actually looking for, and then people feel really good about adding that when they see, oh, my neighbor, needs an extension cord. I'll go ahead and add that. So the adding piece is actually not, from a human motivation perspective, hasn't been as much of a hurdle as we thought. But we do have ideas for making that easier, right? We want to build a mobile app where you can run around your house and take photos of everything and batch upload it. Like that's the hardest part, is getting the photo on the site right now. So we're definitely exploring ways to make that easier.
Do you have any social or, from your site experience of where those trust limits go? So like if all my items, my power drill, my lawnmower, my car is only my friends, they can just send me an email. I don't need you for that. They can call me.
Well, they can, except how many books have you lent out and you don't remember who has it, right? I mean, NeighborGoods serves as a social inventory system, so you remember who was it that had that item I was looking for. I have active transactions that are open on my account that are just open, and I'm like, okay, I know my friend has that. I don't need it back right away, but I know on NeighborGoods that he has it, so now I'm keeping track of that thing.
But you have the actual insights where hey, these categories of groups, these categories of trust limits. Do you know how far a book, how far does the average person trust to lend a book?
Yeah, I don't know. So I can say anecdotally that people are willing to travel further for more expensive items.
Sure. So you have anecdotes. You don't have the real science.
Not as far as location is, but that, we can obviously look into that for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me, with the inventory, then you know who not to be friends with anymore. All the bastards
Well,
that
that's the
take
thing
my
about
books.
trust, right? It changes for the item.
So as a teacher, and I used to be part of the teachers union, and my sister's part of the teachers union, and you see what's going on around the country. Can you use this for school districts and things like baseball organizations that are in different towns that can share resources as a way, or is this set up really as, because you said brands and you said cities, can it be used in places like that, or are you looking into places like that?
Yeah, we're focusing now mostly on cities and brands, and universities are really interesting. I think whatever the affinity group is, though, the point is that that group brings trust, and then so you're getting people to sign up for the site in a group that they already feel safe sharing with. I mean, we're seeing people sort of extend the usage of NeighborGoods already. Like, we're focused very much on physical objects, but if yeah, that's good. This is what no, the group page. You can actually see the wall inventory wish list members. So within any group, people are also posting wish lists for, like, I need a babysitter, I need a ride to the airport. So we're starting to see people extend the service and use it for other things, which helps guide us to what to build next. And I imagine it'll be the same with what types of groups it really takes off with. That's all part of the pilot process.
Can you speak to either age demo of the people who tend to use your product or socioeconomic demo? Because I know in some of the things I looked at before, ThreadUp initially met resistance of VCs who didn't believe that moms would want to trade low-value baby gifts. Mm-hmm. And yet a large part of our country does. Can you speak to any of that? And
our largest demographic is female between 25 and 35, which is not super surprising to me. It is sort of a higher socioeconomic demographic. My hope is with the city of San Jose that we'll find a way to make it available to folks that actually make less money, especially in the instances where the cities are sponsoring that. So that's the audience so far.
So we got about 35 seconds. We got time for one more question.
All right, real quick. What have you borrowed in the last 30 days personally?
What have I borrowed? I'm more of a lender, not surprisingly. I have almost everything I own up there. I actually borrowed a snowboard recently. I lent mine out too. Mine is too big for me, so we did a little swap. I borrowed a bike for South by last year. That was awesome.
And with that, we're just about out of time, so we will finish up. Thank you very much.
Thanks.